It's appalling because it fails to recognize why we have this problem, why we are in this fix in the first place, and where the solution lies. It's not the federal government, it's not the White House, it's not the Congress in total. It's the Senate Democrats, except for one. They lit this fire, and now they want us to bail them out and put out the fire. I think that's irresponsible.
I would just like to remind my colleagues that the largest union in the federal government has asked the Democrats in Congress to please step forward and support the bill that the Republicans have passed 12 times. And the potential damage to our budget as a result of this could be devastating. And as my colleague pointed out, there's no guarantees that we will get reimbursed from the federal government. We could certainly ask, but they're under no obligation to do that. So I would encourage my Democratic colleagues to reach out to their colleagues in Congress and see if we can get a resolution at the federal level for this. Thank you, Mr. President.
But let's stop using the poor and leveraging the poor to try to move hearts and minds around what we're going to do collectively. Let's take it to a personal level and have personal responsibility. I also want to say that, we're not talking about 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread here. We're talking about dollars and cents. This isn't about what the state is going to do to feed the multitudes. What is the backup plan? If we are to backfill and make sure that people in the state of Ohio can have their assistance for, let's say, a month, what happens the next month? If this is not reconciled, what do we do then? Do we go back to the coffers and take out more money and do that again and not understand whether we're going to get the money back?
We need to keep those dollars in, as was pointed out, not just to keep our bond ratings up, but we need it in case we actually need it here in the state of Ohio to make sure that our agencies aren't shut down and our services aren't cut, because those services are just as important as all the other services that we're talking about, including our services to our schools, townships, counties. So I'm totally sympathetic. We need to do something, but this can easily be fixed at the federal level.
You look at this over the course of a year, we're looking at a couple billion and a half of spending at the state level that I have no belief will ever be reimbursed by the federal government, no matter what we do. But beyond that, one of the things that we got to keep in mind with the Budget Stabilization Fund, otherwise known as the Rainy Day Fund, is that that really keeps our bond rating a sterling AAA plus. And if we drain that, especially in a higher interest environment than we've had in recent decades, that is going to make borrowing in Ohio much more difficult for money that we are unlikely to be reimbursed for.
But in this case, it's like a 4-lane highway full of Maserati political cars streaming out of the federal Democratic Party shutting this government down. So if my colleagues over here have any influence with those folks, let them see what they're doing to the poor people in Ohio. But I would ask my colleagues not to cast blame on this body.
I think it would be irresponsible for us. We all want people in need, whether it's SNAP, TANF, or WIC. We want those dollars to be flowing. And they could be flowing tomorrow if the Ohio Democrat Party would exercise its potential influence and get the Senate Democrats in Washington to get off their butts and just agree to this resolution and not listen to the hard progressive leftists in the Senate and all around the party in the United States.